What's going on, y'all? It is Jack, aka Outlaw. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're tuning in again, thank you as always. But today I want to talk about 5 tips I have for everyone hiking the Pacific Crest Trail in the year of 2024. Alright, so let's get into it. Number 1, have fun, but don't have too much fun. And what I mean by this specifically is it's really easy in the beginning of the trail as you're meeting people and you're going into towns for the first time to get quote-unquote vortexed. And that means that you could sit in a town for 2 to 3 days. And I think that this is more of a tip for people who really want to hike the entire trail. If you're out there just to have fun and see how far you go, then this really isn't that big of a deal. But what I will say is that the people that ended up having a lot of fun in towns definitely had a great experience. I won't take anything away from that. It's just they weren't able to make it in time for fire closures, or certain things just didn't work out from a timing perspective. Washington got a little bit too cold. So if your goal is to really finish, you might want to think about this in the back of your mind. And of course, you're going to have fun, but if you don't have too much fun, you also won't spend too much money. So it really depends on what kind of hike you're on. But for me, going into that, I was thinking, I really don't want to sit in town for too long and really whittle away what time I need to do on this trail. Because personally, I believe the Pacific Crest Trail is really about a 4.5 month through hike if you want to do the entire thing. There will be inevitable closures, and there's just no way you're getting around that. Number 2, don't be afraid to push yourself. I saw a lot of people at the beginning of the trail, and they were starting out doing 10 miles a day or 15 miles a day, when really they were able to do a lot more physically. So I think the worry here is that injury is going to come, or what if something bad happens, and always listen to your body. But if you do 10 miles a day and you're barely even a little bit sore, definitely up that 3-4 miles and then see how that feels. But go into this hike knowing that, hey, I'm gonna have to eventually average X amount of miles a day to realistically finish. And if you're not willing to push yourself, then you're never really gonna get to the point of, 1, just being more confident in your ability to long distance hike, and 2, you really might not tap into the potential that you thought you had. I personally never ever thought that it would be possible for me to do 30 plus miles in a day. When I first started backpacking here in Colorado, training for this inevitable goal, the Pacific Crest Trail, I would do an 18-mile day and be so sore I could barely walk the next day. But eventually, as you hike this thing and you keep pushing yourself just a little bit further, you don't have to go super extreme, you will find that you can do way more than you ever thought capable of. I mean, Weatherman did a 50-mile day. I know for a fact he never thought he could do that, and he ended up doing something just absolutely crazy. So don't be scared of injury and be responsible, but keep upping up that measure for yourself and keep pushing yourself a little bit more each week or each day, just depending on where you are on the trail physically. Number 3, don't be scared of the flip. I know for me, I came into the PCT with this romanticized thought of going northbound the entire time, and I would start in Mexico and I would end in Canada. And that was a huge mental thing for me while I was on trail. I was trying to digest the fact that my hike wasn't going to go the way I thought it was going to go. And I had this thing envisioned for so long. The reality of it is that, y'all, it's a through hike. You're not going to get what you thought you were going to get. And if you do, you are extremely fortunate and lucky. And if I had never flipped and gone southbound after the Sierra, I would have slogged my way through the entire Sierra Nevada section, really just to end up getting closed down by fires on the California-Oregon border. So if your goal is to do the whole thing and you don't want to be sitting off trail for weeks at a time waiting on snow or this or that, then don't be afraid to just go up and flip. It was the coolest experience at the end of the day to have gone northbound for almost 750 miles and then to have gone southbound for another, I don't know, like 1900 miles. So I can get a perspective of Nobo and Sobo. And yeah, it works out. Don't be afraid of the flip if it works out for you, because I can't guarantee, but Washington, Oregon, or California, one of them might have a high snowpack year, and you're going to have to work around that. So it might be a little bit extra logistics, but you can make it happen. Number 4, this is a cliche. I think a lot of people talk about this, but have a real purpose for when you start and try and stay positive. I know everyone probably gets annoyed at the guy that's overwhelmingly positive on trail, and it's fine to complain to each other about some shit that sucks sometimes, because it will inevitably. It's not going to be great every day. But you got to think, like, you carved out your life for this. You put everything on pause. Your loved ones are waiting for you for 4.5 months without seeing them, and you quit your job. You sacrificed so much for this. Why would you go out there and like scorn every day, or like focus on this sucks and that sucks? Like, no, it's a beautiful, awesome journey, and it's overwhelmingly positive. 95% of your experience on trail should be a positive time, unless you're freezing your ass off in rain or snow, or the situation just really sucks. So try to keep that anchored down in your mind and look at the good and not just what's going wrong. Because after a while, mentally and physically, you get beat down, and you're going to want to sway to that side. It's just natural. It's how we are as humans. And stay grounded in your purpose for being out there. I'm not saying you have to have a purpose, but it definitely helps when you're having a really, really bad day and you're questioning everything. It will keep you out there, and it'll keep you motivated. So if you can find that for yourself when you get out there, I think you have a way better chance of completing the thru hike. And then number 5, another cheesy one, but real. Enjoy the moment. I felt like I did this pretty well on the trail, and as I got to the halfway point, and as I got 3/4 of the way done, and then in my final remaining days and weeks on trail, it really started to hit me. But you're out there and you're going to make some of the best friends of your entire life, and you're going to have an experience that not a lot of people can relate to or understand. So at the end of the day, enjoy what you're in, because I can tell you right now, I'm only off the Pacific Crest Trail for maybe 5 months at this point, and I think about it all the time, and I'm back in my normal working life, and you'll crave that. You'll crave to go back to normal and sit on your couch and do nothing when you're done, and it's the greatest feeling ever. But if you go out there and you film something or you create something, which I highly recommend you do, even if you just take pictures or small video tidbits here and there, you'll look back and you'll think, wow, like did I really put myself in that moment and enjoy every step? Because you're not going to be able to do something like this more than once unless you decide to do another thru hike. And I can tell you from personal experience, most people who do this end up saying, this is good for me. I probably won't do something like this ever again. So think about it as a once in a lifetime opportunity and just enjoy every bit of it. And you can reach out to me as a resource. I am more than happy to help. I was scouring the internet like crazy before my thru hike. I wanted to be as prepared as possible. And so I'm here to help you. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. You can find me on Instagram. It's on my YouTube page. Shoot me a direct message. Follow me. I will answer back to every comment. And I just want to see as many people succeed on the trail as possible. So until the next one, y'all, I'm out.